Alright guys, what is up? We are back with Fixing the DCEU Part 2. This is my version of the DCEU, how I would do it, what films I would make, and things like that. I know it's been a while since Part 1, we're back to Part 2. I'm a busy guy, I'm sorry guys. One thing I also do want to clarify is that a lot of what I do is based on things that's happened in the comic books or animated TV shows or movies and things like that. So this is all my original idea in terms of how it's formatted, how it's styled, and how it's all put together. But I obviously take inspiration from things that DC has done because people like source material, people like stuff they've seen before too. So obviously that's where I want to be. So where we last left off is basically a bunch of world building films, all right? A bunch of these characters that people want to see, that we like and enjoy, give them some films, all right? And so moving forward, there are some specific films that I want to see for this, right? Very specific here. All right, to start, I want a Dead Man film. It is titled The Dead Man or Dead Man, something like that, right? And basically it follows Dead Man as he is now the avatar of, he is now, what is it, Krishna or whatever? And he has to assemble a bunch of the DC magic users. And so he's forming the Justice League Dark Team, all right? And we have them all brought together for this threat that could be, Morgan Le Fay, or it could be Felix Faust or something like that, right? But I want to see them come together and stop this threat, right, in this film. What I also want is a Jonah Hex film. Now, Jonah Hex would be in partial part, it'd be a huge part of the Booster Gold sort of thing with time travel and things like that, because that's what Jonah Hex has here. I would want to see someone come back from the past or from the future to the past with all this technology and stuff like that. And when he goes to the past, Jonah Hex is sent to the future. He learns all these things, comes back, and then tries to set the Wild West free from this tyrannical rule here. I want to see that. And then there would be some end credit scenes that I would get to here, where when the person is being taken away, right, the criminal actually is taken away by a member of the Legion of Superheroes. Right, and that's where we first see this kind of, this hint at this is happening. This is all being built upon. And then I want an Adam Strange film, dude. I want to see the space side of DC explored further. I want to see a big leap in that. You can have all these different planets, Thanagar and all these other various planets explored. Even toss in Mogo if you want to. You know what I mean? Get crazy with it. I want to see a lot of that explored. But the biggest and most important film, in my opinion, of these solo world building films for this sort of phase of the DCEU is the Scott-free Mr. Miracle film. And so what I want the film to be is Orion comes to Mr. Miracle and Big Barda for help. And he's like, we need to get onto Apocalypse. We need to steal, Darkseid's planning something. Highfather has not sanctioned this. I need your help though. And they break into Apocalypse. Okay. And that's the film, is them, sort of taking out the various forces of Apocalypse, getting what they need to get to. And I'll come back to the Scott-free stuff, all right? I'll get back to this. But that's important, okay? I want to specify that film is a big, important part of this, all right? So, moving forward, we have another Justice League film called Justice League United. And at this point, the Justice League roster is huge. It's massive, right? One thing I didn't like about the Avengers movies, in my opinion, is that the roster didn't expand for as quickly as heroes were being introduced, or the idea that heroes were introduced. Because they're trying to go back and put things into place where, this was happening while this was happening and things like that. I kind of don't like that. I think that's weird. If I had superpowers and I saw all this stuff going on in New York, I would be helping. You know what I mean? All these things. But I would have Lex Luthor assemble a bunch of villains, all the villains, B-listers even, C-listers, tons and tons of villains, and then them just try and systematically take out all these Justice League members. That sounds super cool. And so this threat is so massive that the Justice League is actually completely occupied, right? That's very important. The Justice League is 100% occupied. There's no room for error here. They are doing the absolute most right now. They're fending off from the Legion of Doom. So it's all hands on deck type of moment. And it's a very, very important. And so the end credits scene for that is back to the Mr. Miracle thing, right? They finally get the plans and get safe, or they finally get to the plans for Darkseid, what he has, and they look at the plans and it's like, oh no, and they try to escape, right? And then out of the portal falls Big Barda holding Orion and Scott free in front of the Justice League, and she passes out, right? And so that's when we're like, oh, Apocalypse and the new gods and Earth are starting to come together, starting to get abridged here. So that's very, very important. Is they pass, Darkseid is coming, something like that, and then passes out. And the three of them are in the medical bay now. And so the Justice League will return, right? Is what you get there. So moving forward, we get to our next Teen Titans film, right? The Teen Titans Juice contract. And so this is why I say that it's very important the Justice League is completely occupied with the threat of the Legion of Doom. Is because now that all these people are being sent after the Teen Titans and they have not been taken out, it's Deathstroke's time. Deathstroke is now going after the Titans and he is going to systematically take them out. And we'll see him deny. We'll actually get like a scene where he denies Lex Luthor's invitation because he already has a contract with Hive to take out the Teen Titans. And so that's why the Justice League also can't help them. It's because they're occupied. And we'll introduce Tara in flashbacks and previous things and things like that. And then so she's a part of the team now and then betrays them. The whole Juice, basically just the Juice contract storyline. I like it how it is in comics. I think we should just bring it into live action. I like that a lot. And so, basically, at the end of this film, we see Raven sort of collapse and with visions of Trigon. And she's like, oh no, Trigon is coming. Like, this is the next threat that's going to be arising. And we cannot stop it alone. And so, I love Teen Titans, so I find this to be very, very important here. Next, we move into an official Justice League Dark team-up film. Alright. They are now officially a team. They are working together to defeat supernatural threats that they cannot handle alone. And so in this, I think that Morgan Le Fay would probably be better for this film. She's a bigger magical threat in my opinion. So her being the bad guy in this team-up film would make sense. Or, Etrigan the Demon appears and he's like, all hell is broken loose. That basically Hell Rising is the idea that like there's zombies or there's demons or something like that hopping up, just so we can see like an army-esque threat where they have to take out a bunch of these bad guys or a bunch of these threats, things like that. So that's what we get from the Justice League Dark film. Again, I think it's really simple to do that. Pick a magic user, have them get a really powerful spell. There you go. It's kind of a cut and dry type of thing. But basically, what I do here is at the end of this film have the Phantom Stranger and the Spectre show up of a warning that Trigon is coming. All right, and if you don't know the Phantom Stranger or the Spectre, if they tell you something's up, like it's bad. It's the same thing if like Uatu the Watcher from Marvel was like, guys, there's something coming. Like it's a big deal. And so then with this, we realize that Trigon is not just a Teen Titans threat. This will be a much bigger threat. It'll be the whole magical side of DC and the Teen Titans, obviously, because of Raven, that's going to be dealing with this. So, from here, we get the Justice League film, right? This is the big team-up section. I like the solo films. I like the world building. Now it's team-up movies. I told you we were going to hammer this. Here we go. The Justice League Omega Sanction, all right? It's a working title. I like the title, but there's a lot of Justice League titles already. A lot of Justice League names are out there that I don't really want to steal from. So Omega Sanction is kind of an original one, I think. At least I don't know of anything called that already. But basically, after the Big Barda and Scott Free and Orion fall to Earth and they're in the ICU, they wake up, it's like, hey, Darkseid's coming. And they're like, okay, when do we have time to prepare? They go, no, he'll be here in like a day. Like, he's coming now. And all these League members start assembling, and then Darkseid just invades Earth. Right. A full-scale invasion with the forces and the Generals of Apocalypse. But we don't necessarily see Darkseid right away, all right? We see Caliban and Steppenwolf and Mantis, the Generals of Apocalypse, right? Granny Goodness even. Sort of setting up those drill things to terraform the Earth, like Darkseid always does in those depictions of his invasions of Earth. And they start just absolutely, invading, right? Big invasion force. And then Justice League goes to stop them. And then they actually do stop the threat. They defeated the Generals, right? Because there's a ton of Leaguers at this point now. They've been working together now. And the force of the Justice League is just too much for these Generals. Bam, the Justice League is going to save the day until Darkseid shows up and just wipes the floor with all of them. I want to see Darkseid be as powerful as possible here because that's how he should be, and I think that's what people want to see. They don't want to see Superman just be able to wall up on him necessarily right away. We want to see him, just destroy the superheroes first. And so then we go into part 2 of this film, all right? And part 2 is a full retreat of the superheroes from the previous film, right? Now they were hiding. The Earth is basically being taken over as it is now, and the heroes are in this battered state. Some of them captured, some of them not. And basically Batman, of course, the general of this army of superheroes, is like, here is the plan, because I am the world's greatest tactician. Okay, we are going to divide and conquer, and there's going to be squad leaders, and we are going to go and take out the terraforming platforms that the generals have now begun, guarding still. So the generals were defeated, but now they're guarding their posts as Darkseid, sits in the remnants of the watchtower that's now crashed to Earth or something like that. That'd be so cool. Or the Hall of Justice. And so we divide and conquer. And since there's going to be like 4 terraforming towers and then Darkseid, we're going to have like squad leaders, and then they're going to attack these things we're going to do it all at once. And so, one squad leader is Wonder Woman and her squad of various superheroes from various groups all put together and attacking. And then the next squad leader is going to be Batman, and Batman is going to also be attacking one of them. And then the next squad leader is going to be there's going to be a joke about it going to be Constantine, but it's going to be Zatanna instead, and then she's going to lead the magical team. And then we're going to have Nightwing actually lead a squad and have him attack one of the generals as well, because he's the leader of the Teen Titans. It makes sense. And then we're going to have Superman lead the final force of a bunch of heavy hitters to go distract and take on Darkseid so that this plan can come together, right? And basically, Superman's team's just going to get mollywopped on. Just absolutely destroyed, crushed. They're going to be getting steamrolled. They're holding him off the best they can. And he'll have some heavy hitters, like him, maybe like Martian Manhunter, one of the Green Lanterns, Shazam, Big Barda, or Orion. Just some real heavy hitters going at him, but it's going to be too much. Darkseid's going to be too much for him now until the heroes each complete their objectives and they all team up, and then it's everyone against Darkseid. This giant super team up against Darkseid. Just everyone getting hits, laying into this man. The parademons are falling. It's going to be super, super cool. I think that'd be awesome to do the way to do the Justice League. I think it'd be sick. It'd be such a cool final scene to see. And then you see, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman going for those final 3 hits or something like that. The Trinity, of course, as you have to have them. And then they kick Darkseid off the planet. He goes crawling back to Apocalypse. Maybe the last we see of Darkseid, may not be. Who knows? We'll see. And so, moving forward, at the end credit scene or the final moments of the film, I want to see Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl and Chameleon Boy or somebody appear to the Justice League, and they're like, "Hey, we need you. This is the time when we need you. You 3 disappear in the timeline, and we think it's because you help us. Here's what we need from you." And they take them to the future. All right? This is going to be epic. I like this idea personally. I love the Legion of Superheroes, so I want to see more of them. Here's how I think we do it. It's going to be a Legion of Superheroes film called Legacies. And what it is the Legion of Superheroes has been captured by the Fatal Five, and the Fatal Five has taken over all the criminals of the galaxy. They're like, join us or die. And so now they have an army. The Fatal Five has been stopped by the Legion of Superheroes time and time again. Now they know they're not enough. They need their own Legion. So they start drafting all these bad guys. They've captured tons of the Legionnaires. Only a few remain. So they need the Trinity's help, because the Trinity are the 3 greatest superheroes of all time. Here we go. They basically free some of the superheroes, and it's just a basic type of thing. They free their friends, take on the Fatal Five and their members, their team. I guess, and then there's the film, and the whole idea is the legacy of the Justice League. That's why it's called Legion of Superheroes Legacies. I just think that'd be super cool. Plus, it's a great way to introduce the Legion of Superheroes. It's not necessarily a huge marketable team, right? Not a lot of people know about them. They used to have their TV show, but that was a while ago. Who's going to go see a Legion of Superheroes film? Well, guess what? Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman are going to be in it, so they're going to go watch it. It's going to be super sick. I like that idea personally. And then get in some end credit scenes there. Whatever we want to do. I personally think it should stick to the idea of the future. Maybe like Blight or something like that. Huge potential there. But then I like I said, just go back into some more world building. You just had a bunch of team up films, a bunch of them, right? Over a 2 to 3 year process. Just go back to the world building. Get some sequel films in there. Get some new superhero films in there. Really focus on that. One thing I don't want to focus on is TV shows. I don't like the idea of TV shows and cinematic movie universes, because that's just pointless. I shouldn't have to watch a TV show to understand the movies. I'm okay with watching the movie to understand the movie, because sequels are sequels, right? And interconnectedness is interconnectedness. A TV show just seems like you're pushing it now, personally. So, again, go to world building. Just hammer out that world building. Really create a big landscape that's going to have a lot of lore and a lot of things that go into it. And with that, I'm going to stop the video for part 3, all right? Part 3 of my Fixing the DCEU. Be on the lookout for it. We're going to really start getting into it. Some really cool moments, some really big team-ups, some really big storylines. I'm excited to talk about it. I think that my DCEU is already doing much better than whatever DC is going to do already. Whatever Warner Brothers think they have planned, they should scrap it and go with my plan. But But, you know, are they going to listen to me? No, but who would? So, thank you guys so much for all the support. I absolutely love you guys. You guys are the best. Guys, remember to share this video with someone, all right? If you have some friends that are DC fans, share this video to them and see if they like my ideas. See if they agree or not. Leave a comment if you agree what you would do down below or what movies you would want to see in that world-building state, all right? And make sure you just like the video, guys. That's just the basic stuff. You know, make sure you subscribe and like the video. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all the support you guys have given me. You guys are the best. And I will see you guys all in the next video.
Cause I'm never giving you up, not 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 giving you up, no.